Welcome to the RIOT Podcast.
Yay!
Want to say a special hello to my friend Chad, who found me on Facebook, and I told him about the podcast, and he actually listened to it.
He followed through?
Yeah,
Yay!
people don't do that. Normally, they're like, yeah, I'll check that out. No,
Welcome, Chad, to the podcast family.
My expectations are so low when people tell me that they're going to listen to the podcast. I'm like, I know you're not going to, but it's a nice thing to say.
Sure.
But he actually did. So, Chad, thanks for checking it out. He was my friend who I started watching anime with, and, well, Is that all the backstory we need? What's that?
That's all the backstory we need.
Well, I could talk to you about Gundam and Animag and like all this stuff, but you know what? It's
good.
It is what it is. Today in the podcast, we talk about the Obadiah plays that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I streamed Dead Cells. You can actually see that right now at riot.radiou.com. And I am currently uploading it to YouTube.
Still? No pressure. It's a long thing. We're normally used to uploading 5-10 minute things, but this is a while.
It's like a 90-minute video, and it's 1080p.
Sure.
And I was also looking, at home, I have pretty good internet. But it's not as good as it is here.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't have business class upload speeds at home, so
it'll be there when it gets there. And that's a RadioU Riot on our YouTube channel. Please join us there to subscribe, and then you'll get that in your inbox.
Truth be told, I'll bet if by the time you get the podcast, it's probably already done. So we also learned today about what a bowl on a hole is. What Nikki needs in her purse, which is a great one. We also find out what movies they're doing to try to drag you out of the basement and get you into the theater.
All the good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and man, when we get to the weight loss couple, so many people texted after we talked about it. Like, so many people.
Feel free to as well. 877-2-RADIO-U. You can text us anytime. We'll still see them. So just make sure you let us know your name and where you're from and a podcast listener.
So you guys enjoy the podcast.
Have a good day.
I'm going to go have my snack.
Bye-bye.
Friends by Friends Coke Freestyle Machines. We're all friends, right? It's the Riot on Radio U.
So I do used games. I usually end up not buying a used game, but I will take my games and trade them and or put them on Facebook Marketplace or something like that to make some money out of a game after I've played it so that I can then take that money and I like to use the word reinvest.
Funnel it back in, launder it.
Maintain what a friend of mine named Donnie refers to as the gaming economy.
Keep it afloat.
So it's like you spend some money. The gaming economy is always losing money, but the goal is to constantly just keep some kind of a rotating in and out kind of thing with your gaming economy.
Am I wrong in saying, though, you do a lot of PC gaming, but you can never resell those? You can't resell that stuff. Because that's just a code and stuff that you use, or...
Which is why I often, if I'm going to get a game on the PC, I will wait until it's super cheap. Because one of the incentives of playing a game on a console is that, hey, I can get it for $40 or $50, and then I can trade it for $25 or $30, and so that kind of keeps the wheel turning a little bit when it comes to games.
Sure.
Game companies hate that. They absolutely do. It's interesting listening to game companies talk about it. They don't like you because that secondary sale.
They think you're ruining it.
Well, that secondary sale, they get no money on.
Yeah.
It. So when I sell you my copy of Fallout, they got money when I bought it, but they don't get any money when you buy it from me. Of course, the conversation they never have is when the money that I put into Fallout was money that I made from selling Tomb Raider. So no one ever wants to talk about that.
Sure.
It all ends up going back to their fat coffers. It's just the way it goes. So Bethesda, they sent, I'm not sure it was a cease and desist letter or a threat letter or what, but there was a guy by the name of Ryan Hoop. He was selling a copy of The Evil Within 2, which is a Bethesda game. He was selling it on Amazon Marketplace, and it was marked as new.
Oh, but it wasn't.
It was.
Oh.
But see, he said it was new in that he had bought it, never played it.
Yeah.
It was sitting on the shelf. It was shrink wrapped. It's new. And Bethesda was like, bro, no. You are not an authorized seller. You cannot sell something as new. If you want to open it, you can call it used and you can sell it and we won't say anything. But you cannot represent that you have a new product that is, in fact, you're not an authorized seller.
Well, I will say I've known some people that have that have had access to shrink wrap things.
Oh, and they say that's the problem.
And remake it look like it's new. So they're buying them from somewhere else and giving that appearance. But how many things was he selling? If he was just selling like one game, I doubt they'd go after him. I'm curious if he was trying to do lots of them and this became like his money, his job.
I don't see where he
but if this was their only game that he was doing, so
that's what it says. Bethesda seems litigious. If you excuse us,
pardon us.
if you watch them, it seems like they're always on the verge of suing somebody. That may not be true, but this got my attention because I was like, oh my gosh, what if I can't resell? But
I think it's the Amazon part of it. As a seller, they're selling it, whereas they're not an authorized retailer.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. These days, I don't even want to put stuff on Facebook Marketplace anymore because
it's just not worth it.
My phone's going off all the time, and the only thing that anybody wants to do is ask me if I'll trade a pair of used shoes for like.
It's for the game.
Hey, I got a canoe.
That was mine.
I
Mine
know.
was someone offered a canoe.
We don't want your canoe.
I'm like, why would you think I'd want a canoe for a camera?
Your shoes. I don't want your Nintendo 2DS.
It's just a waste.
Dear Radio U, when I was a kid, my parents sent our dog to live on a farm in the country where he could run and play all day. I could ask them for the address if you need somewhere to send the Riot. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
You can always hang out, see what we're up to. Hey, you should stop by riot.radiou.com. There you can find links to watch the latest Obadiah plays. I played Dead Cells yesterday.
It looked so much fun.
I had a blast with it.
Yeah.
And I was having a couple of good runs while you guys were watching, and so that
makes a difference.
That's something. One can get a bad run, but it's one of those games that they call it a rogue light. And what that means is that every time you play, it's different. So it's not like, all right, memorize, jump here, duck here. No, every single time that you play, the level is different. And that is, I typically don't like games like that, but I had a blast with Dead Cells. And so you can watch that. I'd like to tell you that it's on our YouTube channel, but it was still rendering when I went to bed last night. And so
we'll take a look at that, but that's
at
Radio U Riot.
Yeah, you can see it on our Facebook page. That's there. Remember also at riot.radiou.com, you can find links to our social media, not just for the show, but as individuals. And you guys remember a band called For Today? They're not around anymore.
I do remember.
But they were wonderful. Their lead singer, Matty Montgomery, he's a popular guy. And I ended up getting tagged in a post with me, Matty Montgomery, and somebody else I don't know. So Matty responded, and he responded with some very eloquent answer. And he went ahead and left all the tags in it.
Sure.
For
yeah,
me,
you got all of it.
The last 24 hours of Twitter is just ping, 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 ping. And it's everybody like, Matty, you're so wonderful. Heart, you're so wonderful. Oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way. Heart, I love you, Matty. Heart. And my phone is just like,
I have a glimpse of that life.
Bing, 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 bing. If that's where it's at, I don't want it.
You get the
I turned my Twitter notifications off.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
You get the interaction a lot, but not for some bands it's weird, and the love and adoration that a fan has for them. We don't see that as much. Like you guys aren't going,
I love
you. I'm Mrs. Obadiah. Yeah.
Could I lick the bottom of your shoe?
Like
please?
we don't get quite that adoration.
Right.
Just like, hey, love the show, and it's on that level.
And that's fine.
But it's weird when you see the other type of adoration, and what all that entails on Twitter.
I just got pinged a lot, which again is fine. It's fine, but I had to turn the notifications off.
I just don't want to deal with that anymore.
So if anybody wants to come by and actually talk to me on Twitter, it's at Obadiah Radio U. If you want to talk to Matty Montgomery, feel free to talk to him, but you can leave me out.
Not include you?
You can leave me out. That's cool.
When life is this good, you don't need a vacation. So get back to work. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Probably the single most important public service that we provide here at The Riot is as frequent as possible updates on Superintendent Pooper.
this guy?
It's pretty much the most important thing that we do.
So remember, he was a superintendent.
And was is an important word here.
And he was the one who was at a neighboring school district where he lived. And every day, practically.
Allegedly.
Well, I don't know if even that is.
No, we're still at allegedly because there's a pending legal case.
So allegedly, someone would go number 2 at like the track and field area of that school. And this is where this guy ran past each day, and he was arrested for that.
His name is Thomas Tramolini. He's the superintendent of New Jersey's Kenilworth Public Schools.
No, he's not anymore.
He was, which is what we're going to get to. But as Nikki said, he allegedly went running every day and left a present behind on the track at a local high school not in his district.
To where the people were looking to see who was doing it.
Yes,
and there
they
were
were.
Bathrooms there.
Yes, there were.
So that's
But
also a good point to make.
just like Paris, a little public bathroom.
It just sits there.
So he was criminally charged with public defecation. I love that that's a law. Thank you. Lewdness and littering.
Yeah.
In fairness, he was leaving
wasn't
something
cleaning
behind.
up.
Maybe. So, they say they've got video, all these different things. So he has been on paid administrative leave, which, please.
Get you on that.
Somebody put me on that.
You know what you have to do.
You number 2 in the studio?
No, go to some other station. Run past there. That's what you have to do. Some other business.
So get a load of this. He has agreed to resign. Now, keep in mind, he had 2 months off that he was getting paid. And now the school district is going to allow him to resign. They're going to buy out most of his contract. So he gets $100,000. Then he gets $20,000 for unused vacation time.
What is that?
He also gets whatever his already agreed upon severance package was. Like there was an established thing, and they will not contest his application for unemployment.
Sure. They just want it done with.
Yes. Now, all of that being said, that's just his his job. He still has criminal charges that he has to face.
And he still has a lawsuit that's pending that hasn't he filed against them too, or does that free them of that?
I think he is suing the school district for defamation because he's basically saying, "Hey, I can't do my job anymore. You've made me unemployable just with these allegations." He says he didn't do it, et cetera, et cetera.
So now he's also, I believe, going to another state, and he's going to have to find a city where they've not heard of.
Superintendent Pooper.
So they don't know who he is.
Maybe we should shorten it. Maybe we should call him Superinpooper.
That also works too.
I kind of like that one.
I feel bad. What if it wasn't him? I have a hard time believing if it wasn't, but what if?
Let's be clear. It is possible that it's not him. I mean,
they've always said they've had video, but yet that was the one side, and we would have seen video by now.
Well, not if there's a pending case.
I don't know. I feel like it's when you call and they're like, we're recording this call. We might be recording this call, and they're not.
It's one of those things. Well, it could be. I don't know. If they had put the video out first and then there were criminal charges, it would be different. But the charges came first, and now they're like, hey, we have a video, and they can't release it because now it's evidence.
True.
And if they had released it, it might not have been admissible as evidence. This whole thing stinks, and it's not what's on the track.
I'm not so much mad about what they say. I'm mad that they think any of us want to hear it. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
We're headed into the fall, and of course, we will give tons and tons of lip service to college football, because let's be honest, even though I might not strike you as a college football kind of guy,
he is through and through.
I absolutely love college football.
Is that in 2 weeks? 3 weeks, maybe? I mean, I know you are into it. I would think you would know.
Well, the Ohio State game, the one that I care about, Ohio State versus the Oregon Beavers. Excuse me, Oregon State Beavers,
yes.
That happens on Saturday, September 1st.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yes, I am looking forward to that, even though I don't know what's going on over there with Ohio State. Something controversy, something whatever. But if you feel like even college football is too, it's just it's too corporate, it's too whatever. What about high school football?
That's something.
I mean,
I know a lot of people who go to games who don't have family that are playing or at the school.
I do,
it's a
too.
community thing.
I actually know, I know a couple of guys that I used to go to church with that, like, hey, their kids were out of high school, all that stuff, and they went every Friday night and watched football. And to me, I was like, why do you do that? But I guess I kind of get it. It's like, it's your local community, and, you see a bunch of people because it is a community thing. And
it's
football,
on and on. So that works.
Plus, they got a, concession stand.
Seems fine.
Well, what if we could give you the joys of high school football minus the concession stand plus the comfort of your couch? ESPN has just announced that they're going to be teaming up with Twitter, and they're going to be broadcasting high school football on Twitter every Friday night this fall.
Sure.
They're going to be highlighting 8 different games every Friday night, September 7th through November 9th. And so that's 8 different games each week.
Oh, okay. So not just total.
I mean, man, unless I'm really missing it, I think
that seems fun. Even though, again, some of the fun part of local high school football is you're going. I don't know how much that translates. It feels like if I was sick and I didn't make it, but I still wanted to watch. Seems like that sort of thing.
I may not be getting this right. Maybe it's 8 weeks and 8 like a game each week because it says
selected.
It says 8 weekly games. So do you think that's what it means?
Well, that does make it seem like there's 8 games each week.
No, you know what? Let's see. Cedar Grove of Ellenwood, Georgia versus McCarran of Powder Springs, Georgia. Yep, that's their first game. So it must be 1 game a week. So analysis will be provided by Green Bay Packers and former Ohio State Buckeye A.J. Hawk and Cameron Scooter Magruder, who they say he's a YouTube star, Nikki.
Oh.
So they'll be doing commentary. Hey, man.
Yes.
Good. That's one of those things, like, good for A.J. Hawk. Like, he does well on that. If he wants to do commentary for college or whatever later, it's a good start.
You got to start somewhere.
That's
starting
actually
with high school.
Great chance to get some exposure and work on that.
You come in and you're like, well, is this the starting off thing? And they're like, no, we got middle school.
There is one rung lower.
There is one area underneath.
So that's happening Friday, September 8th, and that'll be every Friday night on Twitter. And I was wrong. And it is 1 game per week. At least that's what it's looking like. And it'll be a fully produced, like ESPN level production on Twitter that you can watch. So, man, that would be a lot of pressure.
If you were there, you wouldn't even know how to deal with that pressure yet.
In high school, oof, that would be rough. It would be really exciting, but it would
really
be rough.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation. Coffee and contemplation.
And the riot, obviously. RadioU.
Here's something I gotta let you know, that the movie theaters, like the movie industry, like the theater, they really are a little afraid of Netflix. Because one of the things that concerns them more than anything is my 70-inch Dolby Atmos enabled basement screen
set up
thing.
Because if you realize you can be comfortable there, not pay any more, and still watch something and be entertained, well, then why go to the theater?
Hey, listen, my 70-inch TV just can't compete with a, 100-foot screen or however big screens are in the theater. I have no idea, because I'm terrible at judging things like that, because I don't use tape measures, rulers, or build anything. I just don't know. But, big screens in the theater. So they're like, hey, we got a big screen. We got popcorn. We got pretzels. Do you want to order a pizza? Do you want a pizza? What if this whole place was a restaurant? What if you got a foot rub while you were watching this movie? I mean, they're trying everything they can come up with. Well, here's a new one. Remember when 3D was the hotness? What was that, like 5-6 years ago, longer? When everybody's like, go to the 3D movie, 3D. And then they're like, buy the 3D TV. And nobody bothered to ask if anybody wanted a 3D movie. The answer was no. Nobody wanted it.
Does our theater that we go to, do they still do 3D movies?
Every once in a while. To me, it just feels like a way for them to charge me more for something I don't want.
I feel like that the interest in that has died down a lot.
It's like, I do not want to watch this movie in 3D. Sure you do, son. Give me $5 more. Put these glasses on. And now you got 2 pairs of glasses on. Good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yay!
Did you put those glasses over those?
No, I would always, if I knew we were going to the movies, I'd wear my contacts because if I was going to have to wear another pair of glasses, I didn't want glasses on my glasses. Say, bro, I hear you like glasses. Have some glasses.
Are they going to try to bring 3D back or what?
Nope, they got a new thing, Cineworld, which is a big like a cinema convention where, you know, all these guys go and the people that own the theaters, they go and see all this new tech. Well, they unveiled a little something called Screen X.
It must be extreme.
You know it's extreme, Nikki. So here's the idea. You got the movie in front of you.
Yeah.
On that screen, and then there are two screens to your right and left. So that
your
you'll
side
feel
vision
like,
stuff?
yeah, your peripheral vision will also be the movie.
Well, when you first explained it to me, I thought, oh, I don't like that. But if you look at it, I mean, it might work.
It looks all right.
Yeah, it's just hard. Sometimes my eyes do not do well with that, and I get fatigue.
Motion sick, maybe?
Yeah, if I have to go both sides, like I can never do 3D very well. I'd have to take the glasses off for a break.
Okay.
So I don't know. This just seems like work for my eyes.
It'd be interesting to see what it's like, but I know this probably makes me a bad theater goer, but I'm pretty happy with what they got.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty good.
Like,
don't charge me more.
I'm pretty happy with just like the big screen, the really good surround sound. And yes, I have that in my basement, but there are movies I don't want to wait for. So I probably go to the movies 15 times a year, 15 to 20 maybe. You figure, what is that? No, I guess more than 20. So let's say, but depending on the month, some months you go 4 times, some months you don't go at all. Let's say 15 times. All right, let's say I go to the movies 15 times a year. Especially now that my movie pass is gone.
Well,
I'm still going, but then I don't know. Like putting more screens is not going to do it for me. 3D didn't do it for me. I'm willing to pay a little extra for the Dolby Atmos screen sometimes, but even then, sometimes you can't put lipstick on a pig. Okay. All right, like
don't you love that?
I don't care how crappy the movie is, or I don't care how like great the sound system is. Crappy movie. Still not a good movie.
So the first, Regal's doing their first Screen X location at the Spectrum on Friday, August 17th. So this Friday that starts. And it'll be in 270 degrees. Then the Screen X is also in, let's see, there's 2 in Los Angeles, 1 in Las Vegas. And then the first of 4 planned at the B&B Theaters, which is a chain in Missouri.
Okay, but does it say what movie they're going to show? Because, I mean, does the content need to be specific for that?
I don't think so. I think they're tying it around the Meg. So I don't know if it's something that the theater chooses or if the movie was shot in a certain way.
So now you're telling me you're just basically taking a movie that's in
Stretching
16 by 9 like 23 by whatever. You're stretching it out. So I'm actually going to miss things on the side of the screen.
No, the first 2 films Regal will do in the Screen X format will be the Meg and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'd go see it.
The Riot was this close from becoming the absolute worst morning show in radio. Yep, they can't even win at losing. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
You know what's been on my mind the last few days? Pressure.
Pressure?
Yeah, like everybody's giving pressure all the time. I was at a junior high and high school volleyball game last night, and they were 2 separate games.
Yeah.
But I was watching and like, man, I'm amazed by the amount of pressure that people put on like, you know, high school students where you can hear parents yelling like, you know, like, and I'm just like, hey, do you guys know? I don't know. I just wanted to go out and start hugging people just like, hey, listen, you're doing great. You're doing fine. And don't listen to anybody.
Just close out the noise.
Over there, all right? Like, it's okay. And you know what? If you miss this serve, that's okay too. It's fine. This does not define you as a person. You're great anyway.
Well, it's hard when you yourself are pressuring yourself and then you have someone screaming at you to pressure you too.
It kills me. Now, I have been accused of being too soft. I've been flat out written out, handed a piece of paper that says you're too soft. Okay. And maybe that's a problem. And maybe I'm the one that gets it wrong. Maybe what I really need to do is maybe I need to apply more pressure. But you know what? If I was sitting with you today, what I would like to do is put my hand on your shoulder in a non-awkward way and look you in the eye, which will feel awkward, but I need to get the message across. It's okay. You're all right. Take a deep breath. No pressure. Jesus loves you as you are right now. Now, is God pulling for us? Yeah. Does God want us to get out of some of those destructive behaviors, give up those habits and hang-ups that are tearing us up? Yeah, sure he does. But he still loves you just as you are. So take a deep breath. You know what? If you nail it today, high five. If you don't, high five anyway. It's called grace. It means that even if you're not getting it right, you're loved and accepted anyway. And man, if I could just get that across to you today, look at yourself in the rear view mirror. Pull out your phone, turn on the camera, and don't selfie. Just look at yourself and take a deep breath. You are loved and you matter, and it's okay. There's a lot of stuff to feel pressure about, but not today, not from us, and not from God. If you don't have a relationship with Jesus, you should. Everybody thinks that God's going to be one more source of stress in your life, and it's the exact opposite. God actually loves you and wants to help you deal with what everybody else is trying to give you. Just say, Jesus, I want that. Come into my life. Fill me with your spirit. I want to have a relationship with you. I am stressed. And you can talk to God about whatever it is that you need to talk about.
One of the only things left that isn't owned by Disney. The Riot on RadioU.
What's it been? A week? 2 weeks ago that Apple became a $1 trillion company?
It's the race for second trillion place.
I know, and we'll talk about the race to second place in just a minute.
Sure.
But what did we determine? What was it, like a week or 2 weeks ago when it was happening? What did we determine was what actually pushed Apple over the $1 trillion mark? Do you remember?
Oh, I do remember. Obi signed up for something, and they gave him as a thank you gift an Apple 4K.
Apple TV 4K.
An Apple TV 4K. And
That's
then
right.
you started getting into that and looking at the 4K deals.
Yep,
and
that's right.
now you're in it.
I know, and so we've determined that the 3 movies that I bought
Took them over $1 trillion.
pushed them over the $1 trillion mark.
I mean, it was someone who had to have done it. Why can't it be you?
Yeah, and the only thing that is a problem about that is that leading up to the moment when I got that Apple TV 4K, there's a lot of deals on a lot of movies that I really would have liked to have had. And I feel like since that first week of me having the Apple TV 4K, once they reached the $1 trillion mark,
they've lowered it.
All of a sudden, they're like, hey, wouldn't you like The Secret Life of Pets for $10?
That was a cute movie.
And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want it.
Maybe they're just confused and you need to set up suggestions so that they learn more about you so they know not to push that stuff to you.
Well, it's not that. And I appreciate what you're saying. I do. But what I'm talking about here is that I've got a website. It's a third-party place that basically sorts through all of their deals.
Yeah.
And, like, it'll tell you what's new. You can go for lowest price, all these different things. And there just hasn't been, like, anything.
You could have hit the wall.
No, it's too soon. It is too soon for that talk.
Well, I mean,
it's too soon.
You could have hit the wall and just like movies in general, even if it wasn't 4K, but even just Blu-ray and just releases. I mean, you're going to get to a point where you've got all the old stuff. You've rebought all the old stuff in a different format, and there's just no other good movies out.
Look, here's the thing. I want them to be $5.
They're not. They're 10.
They're 10. They're $10.
That's still a good deal.
They've got a lot of great deals on $10 movies, and that's good for them, and I appreciate them, whatever. I want the 5s.
Okay.
And a lot of times they do that for like a day,
Yeah.
or sometimes it's even for a few hours.
So you got to be on your A game with it.
Yeah, so, I check about 3 times an hour to see what the sale prices are.
Is that an exaggeration or is that true? Honest?
It's an exaggeration. Like, seriously.
How much?
Once
a day?
I check twice in the morning. Because what I've discovered is that the deals, sometimes there are overnight deals, and a lot of times, this is weird, but it's true, at 7 a.m. Eastern, for whatever reason, that seems to be a magic time where there's another run at them. And then a lot of times when I'm getting ready for the show at night, the next day, I also give another check.
So that's 3 times.
It's 3 times a day.
Yeah.
I said 3 times an hour.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. That's 3 times a day and 3 times an hour.
Different. You're right. Oh, yeah. Completely different.
That's not the same thing.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out for any good $5 4K deals.
And I know I don't need it. I know.
It's okay. It's okay.
Don't judge me.
No one's judging.
I'm
We're
just
saying
a person.
It's okay.
I'm just a person.
Looking for a $5 deal.
Just trying to make his way in this crazy world, okay? That's all I am. That's all I am.
It's okay.
Recycling paper is like planting a tree. Recycling the riot is like burning down the rainforest.
We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So when I was bemoaning the lack of $5 4K purchases, like the whiner that I am.
Yeah. No, it's not a whiner. It's just
cheap whiner.
Sure. Okay, we'll go with it.
I'm a couple of letters away from being a cheap wino.
It's totally different.
But both of us having a substance abuse problem. But different substances, of course. Mine mostly digital.
But you were talking Apple did, was it like 2 weeks ago they became, or?
It was either at the end of the beginning of last week or the end of the other. It all runs together.
They had been talking about it for weeks leading up to it of like, hey, who's going to become the first $1 trillion company?
Right.
And that was either going to be Amazon or Apple. And then Apple beat out Amazon to that. So then this talks have been, well, would Amazon follow right after?
Mm-hmm. And that seems to be the case. Amazon is on track to being company number 2 to $1 trillion.
Actually, on all these lists or the articles about this stuff, I haven't really caught, well, who's the other ones that would be, or is no one else close to this?
Hang on. You asked me too fast because there's one other. Google and Microsoft would be your third and fourth placers. Google is worth about $875 billion.
Yeah.
Microsoft at about $850 billion.
And again, when would they become $1 trillion companies?
And apparently that's just like a thing. If you wait around long enough, it just happens, because right now Amazon is about $50 billion away. But considering they were about $100 billion away last week,
You're one good shopping spree away from helping them.
I guess. So that's what I was wondering, Nikki. Do you think we should get a Fire TV Cube?
I don't want that. I'm not interested in it.
I don't want one either.
I didn't think it looked
Don't we want to help?
No, I like Amazon, but I'm not as invested in Amazon as, say, like Apple or even Costco.
Do you want...
I don't know why. That I have brand loyalty, but
you do.
I do have it.
Nikki has some serious brand loyalty.
But for some reason, Amazon is just, it's there and it's in my life. But if I could have something else, I would.
I feel like they're falling down the list.
Yeah.
Like there was a time when Amazon was your BFF. Like maybe not as good as Apple, but like you were married to Apple, but Amazon was like your maid of honor.
Well, I felt like Amazon was trying at that time, and then they got a little comfortable, and then they decided that the 2-day shipping was a technicality once it actually started to ship, and then we started not getting our stuff, and you're paying all that money still for Prime, and that price goes up. So the rose-colored glasses go away.
So are you telling me?
I don't know if I would ever leave Prime, but it's a lot of money. And I spend a lot of money.
You're looking at it.
Yeah, I am, aren't I?
You're looking at it. I think you should think about it.
No, I mean...
You know,
that's what I have to say about it.
We'll
see what happens.
You could put a nice dent in that run to $1 trillion, Nikki. You just call Jeff Bezos and be like, I'm out, Jeff.
Remember
I'm
me?
out.
No.
And if you started tweeting about it, that would all of a sudden investors would be like, wait a minute.
These companies have to realize the worst thing that could happen is when I realize I don't need you anymore. And if I don't need you anymore, then I'm just not buying as much. Like, I don't want to move my loyalty to someone else. I just want to not buy as much.
Man, that is a terrifying tale you're telling.
It is spooky. So it's
Once
not like
I realize I don't need you.
I don't need as much. So like if someone thinks, oh, Target thinks I can get her now. I can get her to switch over here. No, I just want to stop buying as much.
So you're just out altogether.
That's what I'm trying to do, yeah.
All right. Well, what Nikki's saying is she doesn't want to date anybody.
I don't want to. I want to be single for a little bit.
Like $1 trillion, $schmillion.
It doesn't matter.
You're not impressing me.
It's an interesting time.
Don't want to talk to the riot? We completely understand. Text instead. 877-2-RADIO-U.
Is your purse down here?
No, it's upstairs.
Okay.
I put it on my desk this morning.
What do you normally carry in your purse?
I have my wallet.
Okay, wallet.
I have a snack bar.
Snack. Okay, not like a whole line of snacks, but
no, it's a protein bar.
Okay.
I have a hairbrush.
Okay.
I have some lip gloss.
Okay.
And lipstick.
Okay.
I have
lip gloss and lipstick?
Yeah, both.
Both, okay.
I have those little green tablets for like the green drinks to make. I have mace. And I have a thing that you can do to break the glass on your window in case you ever get stuck in your car.
Okay.
And that's about it. I don't really carry too much. Did that seem like a lot?
Did you hear the list that you just read out?
List. Oh, we could do way more than
You've got
that.
mace, something to break a car window.
The necessities
green vegetable,
as a girl these
green
days.
vegetable tablets.
A protein bar.
Okay, there is one thing that I feel like
hairbrush.
I feel like you left off, and admittedly, I don't think all women carry this, but here's an option that you may want to start looking at. There was a girl named Willie Edwards, and she lives in Manatee County, Florida. And which
there's manatees there?
I think that's why they call it that.
Yeah, probably.
I think if you go out to the ocean, you can see the manatees.
Well, the manatees are not in the ocean.
They're not?
I don't think so, no.
Are they freshwater?
Yeah, they are.
Okay,
I think
well then,
so.
I
Or
guess
like brackish water.
What, in the lake?
Yeah, in the lake.
I don't know. I just know that it was somewhere in that area where that lady got arrested for swimming with the manatees.
Manatee. Exactly, yes. But I don't think they go out there.
That was a thing. So, ended up with her purse got snatched.
Yeah.
And it's, no, the floor. I just want to make sure that I got this right. No, it was not snatched. It was searched because she got pulled over for driving an unregistered vehicle. Mm-hmm. So that happens. So what happens as a woman, I didn't know this. If you go to the police station and you get booked, they will empty and then write out the contents of your purse.
Oh, because then when you get out, they give you everything back, and it's been like not in evidence, but in the whatever, and your clothes too. If you're given an outfit for jail,
Yeah.
yes,
You know.
that sort of thing. At least that's what we see in the movies.
And so when you get booked like that and they take the contents, do you know that becomes public record?
Oh,
what was
you
in
had
your
in the
purse at the time? Yeah.
What did she have?
Well, it's just something you should know because she had 2 cans of mace and 2 cans of fart spray.
Fart spray? What's that?
Do you know what fart spray is?
No.
It's,
Is that a
aerosol
little boy
can
thing?
that smells like a fart?
Is that like those, I saw these boys one time throwing the rocks and they snap and they smelled like...
The Poppin' Snaps?
Yeah, like the little things that you can toss at people and they snap.
Yeah. Snapping Pops.
But there's one that smells like farts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Because
Man,
we're like,
where
what
can I
is
get
that?
those? That's awesome.
See, that's the market right there.
That's amazing.
That's the market.
Well,
so
here
why
you
did she
go.
have that in her purse? So did she have to disclose why?
We don't know why, but I do know. Look, I'm looking at it right here. Here's fart spray, $5.50 on Amazon.
So it's not the other spray you can use in case you're not feeling good, like the
No, it's
the
not that.
poopery stuff.
The
It's
stuff
not
that you're supposed to spray in the toilet to keep it
Yeah.
from stinking. No, it's not that.
It's not that. Okay.
No, it's a hey, I'm gonna.
Can you find her on Facebook and can we message her? Just be like, why did you have it?
just
Maybe
have
she has
questions.
kids. Maybe she has little boys or
Maybe
girls.
she does. Maybe she does. All right. Well, just
A
that's the
heads
thing.
up.
I'm just telling you that you may be unequipped to face everything. So there may be one spray left that
That
you're
I
on the
need.
lookout for. Yeah.
I will go through my purse one more time to make sure nothing else in there I deem embarrassing if it were to become public knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, I think I'm okay. Oh, and I have gum. I have gum in my purse.
Okay.
But
Well,
again, it's not fart gum. It's like,
it should be. I mean, I think it'd be perfect for you.
it fits right in with whatever she's got going on in her purse.
I think it would be perfect for you.
You're listening to the worst of the riot.
Today sucks.
Radio U.
There are a lot of weird things in the world that you don't stop to think about. I never stop to think to myself, like, how much does the National Forest Service spend emptying toilets in the National Forest? How much does that cost?
I don't understand it either. Are you talking like the whole ones or like, I don't know.
Yeah, I am.
Is it those?
Yeah, because those have to be emptied.
They
those
do?
are the worst parts about being
I thought
outside.
it just burned down there or something. No, that sounds terrible.
It's a portal to hell, and that's where
I will never forget the first
And
time
it
I went camping and no one told me, and I thought it looked like a normal toilet, and I was really surprised in the worst way possible when I opened it up and it was a hole. And I was like, what is this? You lied to me. I thought it saw a handle and everything, and it was not a toilet. It's not. I was so mad.
You guys cannot see how hard I'm laughing right now. Oh, my gosh.
It was almost those toilets, again, and they're not toilets. They're just a toilet bowl set on a hole. Gosh. playing, and it was nighttime, too.
A bowl or a hole?
That's how they should be explaining those things. That's how it is.
A bowl and a hole.
All right, so what about it?
Do you know what they call those? The official name for those, according to the Forest Service?
What is it?
Vault
That's
toilets.
really?
Yeah, because, you store things down there.
So do they have to hose down there out or what?
No, like people come in with those like septic tanks.
And they
suck
it out? That's like a porta potty?
Where do you think it goes?
I thought it went to the...
In Ohio!
I did. That's part of the reason why no one wants to go to hell.
Because that's where the toilets flush to.
Goes, I don't know.
Oh, my
someone's
gosh.
job is doing that.
That's their whole life. Here's the part.
It's awful.
My favorite part about this article, they were talking about how just in one forest.
Yeah.
In Montana's Custer Gallatin National Forest.
And I'm sure it's beautiful there.
Well, that's part of the problem. It's so beautiful. They have more and more people coming there. And they said that in the last 5 years, having the toilets cleaned out, the price has gone up the amount they've needed 2.5 times.
Yeah.
That's how much people are in the park using the facilities. And so they've got an issue. But here's what I love. The other issue that they have that they're trying to get out there about is do you guys please not throw just stuff in there?
Well, you could see why people would be confused.
I know. I
It's
get
a
it.
hole.
But here's
throw
my
things
favorite,
in holes.
Here's my favorite thing. And you're just like, well, what? What kind of stuff are people throwing in the holes?
I'd be afraid.
So they said the beer can is super common. But another thing they find in there all the time.
What is it?
It's so bad.
What is it? Is it people?
It's so bad.
What is it?
It's so bad.
What? Throw up or
Oh, that's
diapers?
Nothing. Deer heads.
No, you're lying to me. No, you can't throw a deer head down the toilet hole.
Yes.
No. What are they doing with that?
You go to the park and you're like, I think I see something down in there.
That's why you're seeing eyes.
I think it's looking at me.
Is that from someone who's processing it or trying to hide something?
I suppose I don't think you can hunt on that. I don't know, but it would be something along the lines of they field dressed it or, they're just pulling the meat off of it there and leaving the body. And I guess they just throw the head.
I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know. Do they want tax money or what do they want? They need more money to clean out the holes.
Sir.
I don't know. Give it to them.
Mr. Forest Service representative, if you could just stop talking, we'll hold the vote. You
Yeah.
can have whatever you need.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Whatever, just shh.
This is educational because I didn't know. I thought the hole took care of itself. You throw the chemical stuff on things.
And that's fine.
I thought that's what they did.
Just throw the stuff in the hole.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's just talk
That's
about...
a negative.
Let's go somewhere else after this. Let's go to our happy place. Let's go.
And see if the dead eyes are staring back at you.
The Riot's motto, Carpe Cupcake. Those are words to live by. RadioU.
We all know that Nikki is headed towards a future of being a cat woman.
I mean, I only have one cat, though.
Cat lady.
I only have one cat. That's it.
Catwoman is like a superhero-ish. Cat lady is something different.
This is different. The thing of when I would be an old lady and I would have lots of cats.
Yeah, and then when you died, we wouldn't even have to have a funeral because the cats would just eat you.
Oh.
And you'd be fine.
But I would like to, when I was looking at the pictures, I thought, well, this might be an actual nice job, but you have to care for a lot of cats. It might be a bit too much.
Yeah. Here's the deal. There is a cat sanctuary on the Greek island of Syros.
Yeah.
And they're looking for someone to come there and live and take care of the cats.
So basically, the lady who's running the sanctuary now, I don't think wants to live there anymore and be the main person to take care of them. They said there'd be 50 or so cats that would be in the house and kind of walking around. But I'm not sure if there's more on the island, but that would be your responsibility.
So here's the deal.
You're a real cat person.
Yeah, they want you someone, they say preferably over the age of 45 who is an experienced, mature cat lover.
So you've been, you've been at it for a while.
So the person running it right now is like, first off, this is not a joke. It's a real job.
It is.
Because a lot of people have been treating it like it's a joke. She's like, no, it's real. She also says that it involves a lot of heartbreak because cats often arrive malnourished.
Aww.
And you have to make difficult decisions, such as when a cat needs to be put down.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But
So-
no, there's still time.
The chosen candidate is expected to stay with the job for at least 6 months and be available from October going forward.
The one thing I couldn't catch is it seemed like you're the only person on this island with the cats, but
it seems like that.
So I don't know if anybody else or if this sanctuary is the island.
It
Kind
seems
of like
like
that cat place in Japan where if you go and it's like overrun with cats.
Well, that's the thing I kind of wonder about looking at it is like, what just keeps these cats from overwhelming you? Meaning that, like, I mean, are we doing like spayed and neutered cats, or are we?
How do they get there too? Like, do they
Who
bring
chooses them?
And this is where they spend the rest of their days on the sanctuary? Like, is this where all the cats in Greece are trying to get to?
Yeah, maybe it is. Like right now, there are cats crossing Greece that are like, I've heard of a land where you can live.
Where this lady will take care of us, and they're
She's
hiring a new one now.
She's an angel, and you go there, and they take care of you, and you can eat and run and play.
No, I can't have that much responsibility. I don't
Too
want
much?
that. That's too much. There's too many cats.
Oh,
And that
That's
means
what-
I won't be a cat lady when I get old.
That's what baby Nikki says now. But the time is coming when she'll be like, oh, my little kitties,
Come to me.
come to me, all ye that are heavy laden and burdened, and I will give you rest.
You know you're a real cat person if you take the job on the island. You end up bringing like cats with you.
How many cats can I bring?
You're really taking it seriously.
With virtual reality, the possibilities are endless. It gives us the ability to live out any of our wildest dreams. So maybe we can use it to pretend the riot doesn't exist. The Riot on RadioU.
The Bentleys, have been at the gym. They actually aren't at the gym. They're working out around their house. But Sarah and David, they're from Grand Island, New York, and they decided it was time for them to make a life change. David weighed 347 pounds. Sarah weighed 270 pounds.
Okay, so they're embarking on a journey together.
Between the two of them, they've lost 250 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
They've lost a person.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that is really something. So here's where I'm blown away. Like, I think it's great. I think those weight loss numbers are great. Good for them. Healthier them. I'm looking at pictures of them. They obviously are. I don't know if they're happier, but they sure look healthier.
Yes.
Good for them, right? But here's the thing that gets me. They say that they had a $500 a week fast food habit.
Oh, for eating? I'm not surprised.
They said between coffee, soda, and then every night for dinner they ate out.
Sure. Well, if you think
$500
no, you can
a
easily
week.
get to that for especially if you eat out. Because if you think about like what, $25 a meal for maybe both of them at fast food, and
that's
then
$125 across 5 days. That's
so
so
you're
much.
counting. What if you had $10 worth of coffee a day?
Okay, so now we're up to $175.
And then say you drank soda, like you went and got drinks, or
if they're getting Polar Pops, 5 a day, we're up to $180.
and then every so often, like an evening drive-through milkshake or something like that. Fourth meal, yeah, like or the happy hour stuff. Like
let's allow for an additional $20 a day. Now, I'm still saying across 5 days, and we're only at $280 so far.
But you really worked hard at it. You could totally get to that much money.
I mean, weekends, you're eating out twice, ordering pizza, whatever.
Yeah, because
that's another $100, but we're only at $380 right now, guys.
But see, fast food to them might have been like a restaurant and just eating out.
Okay, that
where
could be.
we're thinking fast food dollar menu or something, and we can't see those numbers get
Here's
up.
the thing that gets me. When I look at this number, I am underpaid. I am not making enough money. I would not be able to live a $500 a week fast food habit. And I'm like, what kind of jobs do you have that you guys can afford this?
But if that was their meal money, or like, you know, you maybe go to the grocery store and you spend so much money, well, they're not going to the grocery store. They were just eating out.
Great. Let's convert it.
Let's just do that.
I didn't even know that was an option.
You don't have to make any food. So, yeah, like what if you...
I couldn't afford to live like this.
You had McDonald's for breakfast. You had fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's
Okay.
where you got your food.
Fantastic.
2 people, before you know it, $500 a month. I can see it.
Now I'm at Aldi like, here, the pretzels are only $1.50. What a savings.
The pretzels don't need a name with them. It's fine.
Hey, man, let me tell you something about Aldi's Honey Twist pretzels.
Are they good?
Nikki, I've had pretzels from all over, and I don't know that they make better pretzels than those. They come in the big, clear, see-through plastic thing.
Yes. They get his
so
seal
good.
of approval.
They're so good.
Aw.
Salty,
So now what are they
honey-y.
doing with that money? Or they've not disclosed that in this?
I don't know. They're being healthy now. So, like, whatever that means. Okay, here's the thing I thought. It's like, they're like, I work out around the house. I'm like, man, that's a lot of money to invest in workout equipment around the house. All you'd have to do is take 2 weeks off of fast food, and you could build an unbelievably killer home gym.
You could, but if you're starting to eat better, that food is super expensive. So maybe it's about the same.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean, have you ever tried to eat organic? It's disgusting.
I'm not eating
Not
organic.
taste-wise, but just how much it is.
Look, I'm at Aldi. Is it organic? What
It's
are they?
fine.
I'm at Walmart
It
going
doesn't-
through the trash. Like, these bananas are still have a couple days.
It doesn't really need to be grass-fed. Like, it could be paper-fed. It's fine.
Doesn't matter. We're all going to die anyway, so just eat the beef.
We'll end it on that note, won't we?
Is that a good one?
That's a good note to end it on.
So, look, these guys, $500 a week. I just want to take 1 week.
Yeah.
I just want 1 week. I want a check for $500, and I want the goal to be, I want it to be like those things where it's like, if you don't spend this $500, you have to give all the money back. But you have to spend this $500, and you have to eat it all this week.
You'd have a great time doing it.
Oh, dude. That would
Steak
be
for days.
so awesome. Let's do that. I'm in.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media
You want to sample 'em? A little try before you buy, huh?
through riot.radiou.com.
It's not fart gum.